Power Politics time. We are only 2 weeks into tax season, and there's a lot of Americans suddenly worrying, where's the rest of my money? This is the first time taxpayers are submitting returns under the new GOP tax plan that went into effect last year, and we're beginning to see some people voicing their frustrations that they either owe the IRS or that they're going to be receiving a smaller than expected refund. And it's more than just a few people. Government data shows that about 30 million people, that's 21% of U.S. taxpayers, are expected to owe money to the IRS this season. 3 million more, I'm going to say that one more time, 3 million more than if the tax law had not been changed. Joining me now, founder of DCReport.org and author of The Making of Donald Trump, my friend David K. Johnston. All right, David, during the president's State of the Union address just a few nights ago, he touted that passing this tax law was for working families. He has said it over and over. By my estimation, it has always been for corporate America, and it was going to trickle down. But again, he said this was a tax cut for the middle class, for working families. Why is it so many people are realizing they're getting less of a refund?
Well, because the Republicans ran a sort of stimulus program by reducing your withholding under new tables without the experience of knowing exactly what would happen. And about 25% of taxpayers who had been itemizing deductions will not be able to do so under the new law. And those people are going to get a real shock because of the limitation on how much they can deduct for state and local taxes. If you were paying $20,000 in state and local taxes, you're only going to be able to deduct half. And that likely means that you will now not file an itemized tax return and you're going to pay more.
All right, well, it's not just a smaller refund. The new tax bill eliminated a number of popular tax deductions, and we're hearing that there's a lot of people out there who can end up paying more. So let's walk through those deductions and why this could be the case.
Well, one of the most important ones is the elimination of miscellaneous deductions. So if you were a police officer, you could deduct the cost of your uniform, your gun, your Sam Brown, your P-38 nightstick, and the cost of cleaning your uniform and your union dues. All gone. Donald Trump always tells you he loves the cops, took away that, and it's a substantial expense for police officers. Your ability to deduct your state and local taxes is the big one. If you live in a state with high property taxes because you spend a lot of money principally on schools, you only get to deduct $10,000. And there are many, many people in this country who pay more than $10,000 a year in property taxes. I'm one of them, on a middle-class house. So those are two of the most important ones. They took away the medical deduction. And all of this was done instantaneously, along with taking away your ability to deduct a home equity loan against your house.
Yikes. All right. Well, walk me through, could there be an impact? Remember, we just went through a government shutdown as the tax season was kicking off. We could be on the verge of another one. Could that affect people's refunds?
Well, in fact, one of my grown children was told by the IRS yesterday that it would take 12 weeks for her to be able to get an answer to a very simple tax question. Where's my refund? Because it hasn't come through. 12 weeks. We have stripped the IRS down so much that the government's revenue agency can't even properly do its job. And a lot of people are going to probably have to borrow money to pay the government. Here's the only upside to this. The IRS has announced that they will waive the penalties if you underpaid in the past year. So you won't face a penalty, but you're still going to have to come up with the dough.
My goodness, we're going to stay all over this. Remember, the president talked about it over and over, especially saying we're going to go to simplified tax returns. You can do it on a postcard. People aren't going to care if they do it on a postcard or on a book as big as a dictionary. They don't want to pay more money.
One little point about this, Stephanie, it's very important. Why did they do this so abruptly? Why didn't they phase in the way Ronald Reagan did, taking away certain tax deductions that middle-class people had? Because they couldn't make the budget numbers work for the tax cut for the richest among us unless they hit the middle class first fully.
I'm going to say that one more time. They couldn't make the tax cut for the richest among us unless they completely hit the middle class first. Think about that. David, I'm sure I am going to have you back in the coming weeks as we get deeper into tax season. This is really important. The president considers that tax cut a huge win for the country. Up next, we are